BookTube. I'm here today with the second video in my series that I'm calling Can AI Run a BookTube Channel? So I decided the next thing I'd ask AI, ChatGPT, is just to give me a TBR. That seems simple enough. That's a standard BookTube video, something that is not too AI involved because you can, take their suggestions lightly. You can change it if you want. So the question I posed ChatGPT is, hello, could you please generate a list of 10 books to read in the month of October? I generally try to get 10 to 15 books in a month, so 10 books I figured would be enough here. The book should be across a variety of genres, but I'll have a spooky atmosphere because it is October. And then I said there should be at least 2 nonfiction books included. Please also provide a brief description for each book. So it wasn't just a list of books, it also provided me with a little bit of a script so I could tell you what the books were about. That also helped me in kind of like a practical sense in that I don't know all of these books. I know quite a few, but some of the other suggestions were things that I hadn't heard of before. So here's my AI generated TBR for October. Just a note here, I'm not actually going to be reading these books for October. I already have my October TBR posted. This is just if AI was running my channel, these are the books I would read in October. Okay, so the first book is a work of fiction, The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I've heard of this one. I own it. It's pretty cool. So this is a classic haunted house story that follows 4 people who visit Hill House to explore its supernatural phenomena. As they delve deeper into the mysteries of the house, it becomes clear that it has a sinister effect on its occupants. The second book is another fiction, Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I've actually read this book, so that was pretty good. Set in 1950s Mexico, the Gothic novel follows a young socialite who travels to a remote mansion to rescue her cousin from a haunted house. The story is filled with eerie and atmospheric elements. So, yeah, I know I've read this book. I think I've been talking to ChatGPT for a while, so I wonder if it kind of knows it. And it's also linked to my Google account, so maybe it knows kind of what I like. This kind of creepy. Anyways, a nonfiction. Ghostland, An American History and Haunted Places by Colin Dickey. This book I haven't heard of. So this book so the description of this is, explore the history of America's most haunted places and the stories that surround them. This nonfiction book delves into the cultural and historical aspects of ghost stories. I asked for brief descriptions. That's generally what I try to give too when I give my TBR, is kind of something brief. I like to not know a lot about books going to them, so this actually works for me. Fiction, The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. This is another book I haven't heard of, but this historical horror novel is set in a creepy mansion in Victorian England. It revolves around eerie wooden figures called silent companions that seem to come to life. That is actually intriguing. So I'm also getting like personal book recommendations from this, which is pretty cool. Another nonfiction, The Witches, Salem 1692 by Stacy Schiff. I've heard of the author, I haven't heard of the book. So this is a meticulously researched account of the infamous Salem witch trials in 1692, offering a chilling look at a dark period in American history. Fiction, Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I've heard of this book. I have it. I haven't read it. In a post-apocalyptic world where seeing can be deadly, a mother and her 2 children must navigate their way to safety while blindfolded. A tense and gripping thriller. This sounds more like a blurb that someone would give, an author would give, as opposed to me telling you about the book, but it's still interesting. I find that ChatGPT can be a bit more formal in their responses, so whether that works well in a video depends, I guess, on the person. Some people can be more formal. I tend to be, as you can tell right now, chatty and very informal. Fiction, The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, another one I haven't read, but I think I own it. I'm not entirely sure. This classic novella tells the story of a governess who believes her young charges are being haunted by malevolent spirits. The ambiguity of the narrative adds to the eerie atmosphere. Then we have another nonfiction. Here's the second, is that 3? nonfictions. Oh, it gave me three nonfictions. I asked for at least two, so that's pretty cool. Haunted Castles, The Complete Gothic Stories by Ray Russell. This collection, oh, this is fiction. I don't know why they called it nonfiction. It's a collection of Gothic stories. So there's a first mistake. This collection includes Gothic short stories by famous authors such as Edgar Allan Poe and Nathaniel Hawthorne, offering a chilling journey through classic tales of the macabre. And the last two are fiction. We have Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I have read this one. It's a dark fantasy novel about a young girl who discovers a parallel world behind a locked door in her new home. The other mother she encounters is both enticing and terrifying. So this sounds also like it might have been more of a review than something that I would find out in the description of the book. So that's an interesting point to note there. And the last recommendation is, of course, a Stephen King. Would it be a October Halloween themed TBR if it wasn't for Stephen King? ChatGPT recommended The Shining, where we follow the Torrance family as they spend the winter as caretakers in the remote and haunted Overlook Hotel. Stephen King's masterpiece of horror is a perfect October read. So there we go. Let me know if you are reading any of these books this month. If you have read them, if you'd recommend I'd actually read them. And thank you for watching.